Hi everyone, this is Olfan with another informative video. In my last video I left 10 fuel saving tips. I hope you've been applying all of them. In this video I'll be dropping even more tips to help you get the best fuel economy from your car. So come along. The first point I'd like to mention today is your underbody panels. Yes, lots of plastic shields under a car, especially newer cars. Their main purpose is to ensure that the car is as aerodynamic as possible and it cuts through the air with as little resistance as possible. So all the plastic panels under the car, ensure you don't discard them, and whenever they get damaged, ensure you get them replaced as soon as possible, because they all serve a purpose and can also contribute towards getting you very good. So while we're up front on the vehicle, another point I'd like to mention is your vehicle battery. Yes, if you have a dying battery, the various signals being sent back and forth, the vehicle computer, the signals could report wrong readings, or the various reference voltages may be slightly off, and that could also throw off your fuel economy. So you want to always ensure that your vehicle battery is very good. And how do you do that? Periodically you can have it checked at an auto parts store, or if you saw my video on the battery light on the instrument cluster, you can check that out. On there I showed how to have your car battery tested using a relatively inexpensive tool, so you can check that out. So a good battery is a must, because I've had many situations whereby somehow I felt the car was driving sluggish, and then after replacing the battery, everything literally came alive. So that can be another symptom you get when your battery is dying. So moving on to the back of the vehicle now, another point that is often overlooked is your vehicle exhaust. Yes, if your car bottoms out for whatever reason, maybe you go over a speed bump too fast, you could actually have a dent in your exhaust system, and that will cause your exhaust system to be restricted, thereby making the engine choke on itself. And once that happens, you have an additional load being imposed on your engine as it's struggling to breathe, and then your fuel economy goes down. So whenever you bottom out over something, or you have exhaust leaks, have it repaired as soon as possible. Always remember that all the items on cars are there for a purpose, and if you can keep the car running exactly how it came off the showroom floor or when it was brand new, you'll have things running as expected. So make sure you drive carefully over speed bumps so that you don't get any restrictions along your exhaust system, which could negatively impact your fuel economy. My next point deals with excessive loading and unnecessary loading. If you're trying to get very good fuel economy, obviously you don't need to be lugging around a lot of weight, because if you're pulling around a lot of weight, probably you have a lot of redundant items that you don't need in your car. You're going to be burning fuel unnecessarily. I've seen quite a number of vehicles traveling, and the cars would literally be squatting, and obviously this is going to throw the aerodynamics of the car off, and in addition to the extra weight, make such vehicles have poor fuel economy. So ensure that you check your trunk. Don't carry stuff unless you're going to need them, and if possible, if you can shed some weight, good for you. In view of that, we see a lot of new vehicles nowadays that don't even come with spare tires, you know. You have a fix a flat kit, or you have convenience spares, which are definitely wheels that are smaller than the standard wheels on the car. So now I'm opening up the trunk of the Avances. Here we can see that I don't really have much stuff in there at all. It's basically empty. Even though it's a little dirty, try to keep the car as light as possible so that I can get very good fuel economy. So next I'll raise the cover to see what kind of spare it has. So here it is. We have a full size spare. I'm not surprised about this because the car is a 98. Back then, full size spares were in fashion. So that is it. Have the jack in there. The red case holds my warning triangle in case I'm broken down by the roadside. Apart from adversely affecting your fuel economy, overloading can also negatively impact on a vehicle's handling and can lead to crashes in very severe cases. So here we're coming up on a truck that is obviously overloaded. It's likely the suspension components are not going to also last. So here's another one. I don't really know what to say about this. This one is really excessive. All that load on this small car. Can't even talk about fuel economy in this case. The driver is obviously trying to
on
kill
to
the
my
whole
last
car.
tip. Avoid excessive idling and high traffic routes. Yes, even myself at times I'm guilty of this. You're probably waiting for someone, and then because the weather is hot, you want to have your air conditioner running. This is going to severely impact your fuel economy. So as much as possible, reduce it to the barest minimum. If you're going to be waiting on someone, turn it off, get out of the car, sit under a tree or something. Make sure you reduce the idling to the barest minimum. Also, if you're going to be planning your trips, try to do prior planning to ensure that you go through areas with least traffic, and if possible, go through the highway so that you can be cruising and you can get very good fuel economy.
When you're cruising down the highway, you use much less fuel or petrol, and obviously it's much easier and much more enjoyable driving on highways. And besides, that's the whole point of driving in the first place, getting from place to place.
So with all those tips, how do you know, or how do you determine your fuel economy? Well, it's quite simple. Quite a lot of modern cars nowadays have trip computers, so you can actually go through your trip computer display to see what the numbers tell you. While on some cars like this Avances, you don't have any trip computer. So with cars that don't have such, you just determine the number of kilometers or miles, as the case may be, that your car should do on a full tank of gas or petrol, and then that will give you a rough estimate of what your numbers should be. In addition to that, most manufacturers would give you a rough estimate of number of miles or kilometers that your vehicle can cover on a full tank of gas. So you can use that as your baseline to determine if you're getting such values with your car.
So with that, we've come to the end of the video. I hope you found it informative. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave me a like. If you're yet to subscribe, hit the subscribe button below, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. You can leave me a comment below. You can tell me which of the tips you found most interesting or which one surprised you the most. In the next video, I'll be going over another interesting topic or something probably bordering on how to inspect a used vehicle you plan to purchase, because there will be some of you out there who are yet to get their own cars. So stay tuned for that. Once again, thank you all for watching. Catch you in the next one. Stay safe out there. Bye.